All right, we'll call the meeting to order. We have with us, I'm Alan Rasmussen. We have City Councilor Mike Holden, County Commissioner Wade Pavlik, Mayor, International Falls Mayor Droba, and we have Commissioner Emeritus Mike Hansen. And we have, I believe, looking at the screen, Darcy Sullivan. Is that correct? Is that correct?
She's muted.
She's muted.
Yep.
All right.
There she is.
Emily Getty.
Yep, I'm here.
All right, good. And Tyra Aspergen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Joanne?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm here.
All right. We also have another person that lists on the screen as R. Thoms. Is that correct?
That's Randy Toms from 931 The Border in Fort Francis. Morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
All right. First item is to approve the agenda. Do we have any additions for it?
I would make a motion to move the agenda with the correct date of 2021.
Okay. That's a good catch. We have a second.
I'll second it.
All right. We have more. Any discussion? Any additions, deletions, questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Recused? Thank you. The next item is the minutes from December 29th, 2020. I'll entertain a motion. All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second that. Hanson, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We have a second. Any deletions, corrections? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Recused? The next item is the treasurer's report, and our former treasurer, Commissioner McBride, is not with us anymore, and so we will need to elect a new treasurer at the next meeting, which is February, I believe. That's the officer elections. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
All right, good. And so I reviewed the treasurer's report and the bills, and you can see where I signed off. The first, we'll take the KETA report first, and you can see that it's a little early, and so we don't have all the invoices or bills yet. So the transfer of money to our checking account's unknown until all the bills are in, and then I'll go back and we'll pay those bills. So if you look that over, there's not anything unusual that I can see. Do we have any questions? I'll move the treasurer's report for the Koochiching Economic Development Association.
I'll second.
Peter? All right. Do we have any?
Mr. Chair, I just would note one thing on the KETA side. Since this is a January through December, it's a full year. On page 3 of the profit and loss, you can see that our expenses were down for this year. A lot of that's COVID related. And then on the income side, we received CARES grant 38.5, and that was for our administration of the CARES money through the county. So those are two things that just would note that we saw some additional income from the administration of that, and then our overall expenses were down. So credit to the staff here.
Any other? All right. All those paying the invoices for Koochiching Economic Development Authority and acknowledging the treasurer's report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any recused? Thank you. It's the cold weather testing. And that's where the transfer amount would come from when we know when the bills are in. I think the missing bills are Jackson Electric and so as I said,
Yes. Mr. Chair, we did receive
when
Jackson
we get
Electric
this,
morning.
we're meeting earlier this
Correct.
month. Yes.
We did receive Jackson Electric for, Kyra, what was the total there?
$2,567.
$2,567, and we're awaiting.
We're just waiting on Bremer and Minnesota Energy right now. And then I did do a transfer of $10,000. And that amount will cover those electric bills that once they come in.
Very good.
Okay, so we'll include those. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you.
Don't have a motion.
Was there a motion and a second on
I
that?
think he made the motion.
Alan made the motion.
Alan made.
Pardon?
You made the first motion, didn't you, Alan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Harley.
Alright.
Thank you.
Okay, are we good?
Yep.
Right. The SBDC update. Do we have Joanne?
Yeah, so they just came out with some new programs, the Paycheck Protection Program. There's around 2 now available. They've expanded the Employee Retention Tax Credit, the EIDL, or Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Those are available again, and I think they're going to do the advance, but it's only for certain areas. So if you didn't apply the first round for the EIDL advance, I would encourage businesses to apply for the second round. And then SBA loan debt forgiveness, they're forgiving, I think, additional 3 months, and then if you get a loan starting February 1st, you'll get the 6 months, no payment, no interest from the SBA to do a 7A loan. And then the county is also meeting. I'm on the committee with the county, and we're meeting on Friday to do the county grant portion of the funds that were distributed to all the counties. So we'll have more updated on that next month. but hopefully we'll get that going here pretty quick. So here's just the overview if you want one.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I mean, the good news is that there continue to be resources available to businesses impacted. As we move along, obviously some of these have been more impacted than others, and both the feds and the state recognize that and have made more funds available to those businesses affected, which is terrific. As Joanne mentioned, the county is going to meet on Friday, form a committee, and then establish guidelines to how much funds were available through the county.
I want to say it was close to 250.
Yeah, 250,000 additional dollars, and we're encouraging obviously all businesses to, if they have any questions, call here or our office, and we can hopefully help direct them. So.
Very good. All right, the next item is the director's report. Director Nevin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple of items worth noting, and this is related to CARES funding as well. I sit on the Arrowhead Regional Development Commission's revolving loan fund CARES committee. They had over $1.5 million available, and that was through a loan program. And the good news is we've had a pretty good response throughout the region, but we've had a number of Koochiching County businesses that have been successful in applying and getting those loans. And the loans are up to $75,000. It's a 10-year payback. The first year is interest only, and then going forward, there's net remaining 9. It's 2.44%. Is that correct? So real favorable terms. And the one thing that the committee acknowledged, especially here in Cooch, is because of the border closing, the impacts have been, even more so for some of our local businesses that, depend on that Canadian traffic. So again, I'm glad that we're able to step in and help those businesses get through this period here. And again, the Canadian border, I don't know, all bets are off and when that's going to be reopened. So anything we can do to help these businesses get there. So cold weather testing. Again, everything has a reference to COVID here. It has created some uncertainty, and it's certainly disrupted our normal flow. But we've been able to get some additional customers. The picture was not very bright looking at October about how much activity we would have here this year. But we've added some new groups, and some of our traditional user groups have come back. Some of them, as I mentioned earlier, the companies just have a policy of no travel during the COVID period. But so we've been fortunate in that regard to help our cold weather revenue. And in addition, Jaguar has added to its durability fleet here. Currently, we have 12 local drivers in support of that test fleet. So they're out there driving 6 days a week currently. And the other story around that is just the weather. It's been a real mild January, which has some impact, but not to the extent it would without our cold boxes. So we're just chugging along, and we'll try to keep things moving forward here. A couple of other items just under miscellany. The Kmart building and Tim Hortons buildings. I continue to have communication with the commercial brokers that are representing both those buildings to try to see if there's a new tenant that we could find for those buildings. And there is some progress. I don't want to overstate it, but there is some progress. The good news is, though, we're still having communication, and it's still a possible fit. I'll leave it at that. I continue to serve on a couple of the groups that we've established, the Housing Collaborative and the Koochiching Technology Initiative, and I just referenced that because even with COVID, we are back to meeting on a regular basis virtually. And as reported earlier this month, Representative Eklund recently introduced a bill to provide $120 million for broadband grant project funding through the state's Deeds Broadband Office, which is good news, additional dollars there. And then the federal pandemic relief bill recently passed by Congress approved an additional $7 billion funding for broadband connectivity and infrastructure, with really a focus on rural and low-income areas. So again, the good news is resources have been allocated, state and federal, for additional broadband development, and we'll work to try to leverage that where we can. And I would just add too that a lot of these events that have been on our calendars for, historically for some time are meeting virtually, and the good news is we don't have to travel to those and still have access to some of those programs. So there's a number of those that I'll be attending virtually, including the Department of Ag's got a 2-day virtual forum on industrial hemp next month, and I think Commissioner Mike and I'll sit in on that and continue to try to learn more about that industry. Lastly, I would just report one of the other functions of this office is to administer Koochiching, which is the county's revolving loan fund going back to 1986. We, of late, last couple of years, for a variety of reasons, we have not had a lot of activity, but recently we did meet, last week in fact, and approved a loan in support of a business, a couple that's going to buy an existing business that's been closed. So good news is that we do have some activity, and even in COVID, people are looking at opportunities, and hopefully this business can get up and running here. So with that, I guess I would answer any questions.
Just sitting here, having to see rotary wing aircraft fly over my house here a couple of days ago. We used to have Bell Helicopter up here doing testing. Have we ever reached out to them?
Thor actually had conversations with them this year and did some research about supporting them here. Mm-hmm. But some travel restrictions came into play and COVID, and they wanted to stay closer to home, so but yeah, that's...
So not out of the question.
No. In fact, they were here like 3 or 4 years ago. They were here as recently as, yeah.
Good. They were a great customer up here and kept the house warm.
Yeah, Thor maintains good relationships with those folks as well.
I know a little bit about those helicopters.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Oh, you're muted, Alan.
I always forget to unmute myself.
Yeah.
Kyra, can you lighten the screen? I can only see Councillor Holden Nevenin. Is that possible?
I had it zoomed in for our meeting last week.
Oh.
I'm very good. Very good. I'm just thinking about this for the next meeting, not necessarily this one, but thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Next item is city, county, and out-county updates. We can start with you, Mayor Droba.
All right. Well, I'm working with Paul on a couple of things. Tomorrow, it seems as if we have a finalized closing date for the Holiday property with the Baldwin Northern Border Investments. So that should be finalized tomorrow. And we do have, like I stated at the last meeting, we do have all of our licenses and permits are set, and we're reviewing the diagrams for the buildings. Everything else is going pretty smooth right now, and I guess at this point I don't have any other updates.
Very good. Councillor Holden, anything to add?
Well, I attended a couple meetings. We had our organizational meeting, and I believe I got put on KEDA, EDA, Human Resources, Rec Commission. So I have to pay attention to my calendar, Alan, to make sure I don't miss a meeting, and amongst other stuff. So yeah, it's going good.
Good, thank you.
Yep.
Commissioner Pavlik, any county updates?
Yeah, that's extracurricular drug addiction.
No, it's Economic Development Authority.
Someone asked me.
I was waiting so I could laugh at something. Purple Friday was pretty good.
I didn't come up with that. Someone actually asked me that once. If that's what it's good for. I said, I don't think so. Not too much. For the thing I'm involved in deeply right now is United Healthcare building. Northland's moving forward on it. We got delayed, but the negative side of that, of course, is Bacchus. I mean, we're going to be taking a large tenant out of the Bacchus facility, and simply because we're out of room there. And so anyway, that's proceeding, and we're going to get started this spring. Other than that, things are pretty quiet at the county right now. I can't think of anything that we haven't talked about here. Be glad when this situation is over and we can get back to normal.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Emeritus.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. I did contact the city clerks from all our small communities, and they all pretty much came back with the same thing. They're just in idle right now. They all wished everyone a happy new year, and one of them just said nothing is going on. But we'll have big news next month. Just hang in there, Mr. Chair. You'll be all right.
Very good, thank you. Any questions? The next item is public comment period. Do we have anyone from the public who would like to make some comments or have questions? Thank you. The next item is set the meeting date for February, and that will be election of officers. So be prepared. The date, and this may change, but I have down a potential date of the 22nd of February. That's a Monday.
That works for us, Alan.
That'll work?
Yep.
All right. At 10 o'clock. And any other business?
I'll make a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Very good. All right, thank you all. We appreciate your attendance. Hopefully, as Commissioner Pavlik said, this will be over and we can meet in person. I miss seeing all of you, other than on the screen, and talking with you. So, thank you very much. Have a good day. See you in February.
Thanks, Alan.
Take care, Alan.